Now, if you're planning a trip to Tuscany in the fall, timing is everything. Every single month is going to give you a completely different, unique experience and seasonal magic. Fabulous people, welcome to the podcast for all the babes who create their own life trends. My name is Anastasia, and this podcast is all about inspiring you to relentlessly pursue your biggest dreams and live your most authentic, abundant life. Well, I am recording this episode from my hotel room in the heart of Chianti, Tuscany. It is late September and the rain is softly falling outside, and there is this gentle chill in the air. Yet somehow fall in Tuscany always wraps you up in its warmth. Maybe it's the scent of a wood burning in the fireplace, or the rolling hills that stretch endlessly outside of my window. But it's the kind of cozy, timeless atmosphere that makes you want to slow down and savor every moment. And that's why Tuscany in the fall is no longer a secret. September and October have quickly become the most desired months for vineyard harvests, truffle season, new olive oil, and the landscapes that glow with autumn light. In this episode, I'll share with you why fall in Tuscany has become the season travelers dream about, what makes it unique, and how to plan it right so you don't miss the experiences that define this time of the year. I personally travel to Tuscany from Rome every single chance I get. And it is not a secret that Tuscany is my absolute favorite region in Italy. I've been here in different months, different season, but today I want to talk specifically about the allure of Tuscany in the fall. The colors, the flavors, the atmosphere, and why this season feels unlike any other time of the year. When people imagine Tuscany in the fall, the first thing that comes to their mind, and I'm sure the first thing that right now came to your mind, is the landscape. Endless rows of golden vineyards stretching across rolling hills, morning mist settling over medieval towns, and evenings that feel cozy and intimate. But Tuscany in fall is more than a pretty landscape. It's a living, breathing season of tradition. September and October bring the wine harvest, and you can just feel the vineyards buzzing with energy. It's truly incredible time to be here for wine lovers. And you can actually witness the production of wines like Chianti or Brunello right at the source. And then, not so long after, at the end of October, beginning of November, the olive mills start pressing year's first olive oil. Tasting it here, fresh in Tuscany, vibrant, peppery, almost spicy, is an experience you'll never forget. This is also the season when Tuscan food reaches its peak. White truffles, porcini mushrooms fill rustic pastas, drawing food lovers from around the world. Across the region, festivals celebrate these flavors. Wine fairs in Chianti, truffle markets, given a chance to step into authentic local life. When I visit Chianti during this time of the year, I always joke that if you ever dreamt of walking around the town with a glass of wine and local vendors pour you the most delicious Italian wine, in any quantity you'd like, then this is definitely your time of the year to visit Italy. It is unbelievable, guys. And yesterday I was at the winery and I overheard a conversation because All the tables in Italy are placed very, very close to each other, as you guys know. And a family from the US was talking to the staff at the winery, and they said, "We're staying in Greve. And probably in the past 4 days, we tried over 90 different kinds of wine. We are completely wined out. Yet somehow they were still at the winery, ready to taste more Italian wines. And honestly, guys, I do not blame them. The weather during this time of the year adds to the magic. Days are comfortably warm in the 60s and 70s Fahrenheit, perfect for countryside drives and long walks through medieval towns. Evenings cool just enough for a light sweater or a blazer, making a dinner with a glass of red under the starry sky feel timeless. Even though during this time of the year, even the beginning of the fall, you will see that a lot of dining experiences are moved indoors for the evening. And what is so interesting is that a lot of locals consider even beginning of September already the start of the fall. And you will notice that even in fashion, because as I shared with you in so many of my videos, Italians always dress up for a season and not the weather. But we will get to that later. Overall, it's this mix, the harvest, the food, the festivals, the perfect weather that creates the unmistakable charm of Tuscany in fall. It isn't just about visiting a place. It's about stepping into a rhythm of life that has been celebrated here for centuries. And that's exactly why September and October are two of the most in-demand months for Tuscany. Travelers come for the perfect blend of culture and countryside. Food lovers are drawn to the harvest and truffles, and couples seek the romance of cooler evenings and golden light. But with all of that allure comes the scarcity. Boutique hotels, villas, vineyard tours, truffle hunts, and the best guides book out months in advance. From our side as a travel agency, we see this year after year. Tuscany is always in demand, year round, but this time of the year has become the single most requested window of all. Now, if you're planning a trip to Tuscany in the fall, timing is everything. Every single month is going to give you a completely different, unique experience and seasonal magic. September is all about the wine harvest. Vineyards are alive with activity, the grapes have been picked, and you can actually witness and sometimes even join the process of making wines like Chianti Classico and Brunello. It's one of the most exciting times to be here, especially for wine lovers. As most of you know, I'm a big wine lover, and maybe that is one of the reasons, no, for sure, this is one of the reasons why I am so drawn to the Tuscany region. And for the past few days, I've been visiting different wineries throughout Chianti region. Some world famous ones, some family owned ones, so small that most people never even heard of them before. And if I can give you one travel tip for Tuscany, if you are a wine lover like me, make sure to mix world famous wineries with the family owned ones, because each will give you a completely different experience. Definitely make sure to include both into your itinerary. And of course, if you would like a recommendation on some of those world famous and family owned wineries, then definitely check out my full guide on Chianti, which is about to come out. And of course, I will make sure to leave it for you in the description down below. And there you will find absolutely everything. The best wineries in Chianti area, where to stay, what to eat, what to do. You will find plethora of information on that full Chianti guide. And of course, I also made sure to include tons of travel tips for you in that guide when it comes to driving in Tuscany, packing for Tuscany, and many, many other things. Now, October shifts the spotlight to truffles and olive oil. And you will see all over the hills truffle hunters with their dogs. And that is the peak moment to try those fresh, earthy flavored truffles. So, so good. And then later in October, towards the end of October, the olive mills start producing the year's first olive oil. And tasting it here in Tuscany, guys, as soon as it is produced, it's truly something that you will never ever forget. And I guarantee you, you will be bringing a few bottles with you back home. That is exactly what I do. Every time I visit Tuscany, I buy tons and tons of olive oil to take it back with me to Rome. And this trip, I got quite a few bottles. I got quite a few bottles of wine, olive oil, aceto balsamico. I'm drooling. I'm drooling, and I cannot wait to get back to Rome and unpack all of this. Oh, Tuscany, Tuscany. Now, November is quieter, but it still has its charm. Crowds thin, prices dip just a bit, and it's when the new olive oil festivals take place in villages across Tuscany. For travelers who want a more local, intimate experience, it's a wonderful window. I personally absolutely love Tuscany in November because during that month of the year, you truly get the best of everything. And at the same time, even towards the end of November, you can still get beautiful, warm, sunny days. Yes, there is a bigger chance of a rain shower, but they don't last long. And truly, November in Tuscany is absolutely incredible. So definitely don't shy away from these months. And if you want to see for yourself what Tuscany is like in November, then I will make sure to leave you my full guide on one of my absolute favorite towns in entire Tuscany, Montepulciano. And there you will discover where to stay, what to do, where to eat, and all the most important information so you can plan your trip to Tuscany. And guys, I just want to say Montepulciano, it is such a gem of Tuscany. If you plan on traveling to Tuscany, you definitely need to check it out. It is truly, truly special. This town has my heart. All right, let's continue because I can talk about Tuscany forever. Now, besides Montepulciano, there are a few places that shine especially bright in fall. The rolling vineyards of Chianti, where I'm currently at, the postcard perfect hills of Valdorcia, and Siena, with its medieval streets and cozy trattorias. Each offers its own rhythm of food, wine, and tradition. But here's the thing to keep in mind. Many of the most special and unique experiences definitely require advanced planning. Vineyard tours during harvest, truffle hunts with a local expert, olive oil tastings, even cooking classes with seasonal menus. These are the moments that make a fall trip to Tuscany extraordinary, and they often book up early. Finally, travel style really matters during this season. I recommend leaning into cozy boutique hotels or villas with fireplaces, renting a car or arranging a driver, and going on those scenic long drives, stopping at hilltown villages, and just soaking up that slower pace of life. In short, making Tuscany in fall work is about matching your timing to what's happening each month, choosing the right destinations, and securing those once-in-a-season experiences before they're gone. Now, to really enjoy Tuscany in the fall, a little preparation goes a long way. So, let me share with you some of the most important travel tips when it comes to visit Tuscany in the fall. Well, number one, and I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what to pack, Anastasia. What to pack for Tuscany in the fall. And of course, it varies by the months, but overall, Tuscany in the fall is all about the contrast. You will find beautiful, warm, sunny days and then crisp, chilly evenings with an occasional rain showers. So, with all this weather contrasts, what I recommend is to definitely dress in layers. You definitely want to pack something lighter for the daytime, but then for the evening, make sure that you are packing light scarves, light sweaters, blazers, coats, etc. As you get towards the second part of the fall, definitely make sure to pack on the heavier side. So you still want to bring some light clothes for the daytime, but for the evening, you want to transition to warmer sweaters, warmer coats, warmer blazers, warmer jackets, and scarves. So, more or less, that is how you need to look at your wardrobe when you start packing for Tuscany. And also, do not forget about an occasional rain, like today, for example. And you want to be prepared. So make sure to bring a raincoat. And if you plan on doing truffle hunting, for example, definitely rain boots. They will be your best friend, especially as you move towards November. Now, let's talk about transportation. And I'm sure a lot of you are also wondering, Anastasia, should I rent a car for Tuscany? I know you're wondering, and I'm going to break it all down for you. As you guys know, Tuscany's charm lies in its hillside towns and rural landscapes, and unfortunately, Tuscany is not well connected by public transportation. So, what I strongly recommend is to rent a car for Tuscany. A car in Tuscany will give you that ultimate freedom to enjoy and explore this region at your own pace and on your own terms. You can wake up in the morning without rushing, enjoy delicious Italian breakfast, and then hop in a car and go to explore different medieval villages, towns, termes or hot springs, different restaurants, vineyards is just such a perfect way to explore Tuscany. Now, if you don't feel like driving, then private transportation is another option. And we often organize private transportation for the clients of my travel agency. And it is also a good idea if you plan on doing a lot of wine tasting. So, in that case, private transportation is a very, very good idea. But driving in Tuscany is nothing like driving in Rome or Florence, because I know a lot of you are worrying about driving in Italy in general, and you're wondering if it's even a good idea to rent a car in Tuscany for those particular reasons. And I can assure you that driving in Tuscany is actually very, very pleasant. It is cinematic, it is scenic, it is relaxing. So, if you are okay with driving in general, you are not going to have any issues with driving in Tuscany. Just make sure to get your international driver's license before you arrive to Italy. Next, plan your meals ahead. Fall is not just a favorite time for travelers. It's also when locals flock to restaurants for seasonal menus, wine fairs, and truffle festivals. That means tables fill up quickly even in smaller towns. Making dinner reservations in advance, especially if you're here over the weekend, ensures you don't miss out on the places that make this season so special. Just yesterday, we had a conversation with the concierge at our hotel, and it was Saturday. She came to us and she said, "Guys, Do you have dinner reservations in a hotel or anywhere nearby? Because it's Saturday. If you don't make a reservation, you don't eat. And of course, she was joking, but not really. If you plan on traveling to Tuscany during the weekend, if you plan on being here during Friday or Saturday or even Sunday, definitely have your restaurant reservations in advance, especially for September and October. And I know it might come to you as a surprise, even though I talked about this in so many of my videos and podcast episodes. September and October are two busiest. Guys, that is the word, that is the keyword, busiest time of the year for Tuscany. And I know it might come as a surprise to a lot of you because most people think that it is actually the summer, July and August. But believe it or not, for the past few years, July and August pretty much have been dead in Tuscany. But September and October, that is when Tuscany at its busiest. So you have to make reservations for everything far in advance. And what might be even more interesting for you is to find out that majority of the travelers during this time of the year are actually Americans. And just yesterday, as I told you earlier, I was at the winery and I talked to the owner of the winery and I said, okay, percentage wise, how many Americans you get comparing to other travelers during September and October? And do you know what number he gave me? 90%. Guys, 90% of their visitors in September and October are Americans. So be prepared to meet a lot of your fellow Americans here because this is truly the most beloved season of all for Tuscany. And I know a lot of people also travel to Tuscany in September and October because they are thinking that they will be avoiding the summer rush, but it is not the case, guys. This is truly the most popular time to be in this region of Italy. So you have to come prepared. You have to make all your reservations for hotels, tours, activities, not just a month in advance, as early as possible, especially for hotels, especially for activities, especially for unique experiences. And if you're into wine, for example, and you want to visit some of the world famous wineries like Antinori, for example, definitely make those reservations as early as possible. 1 month in advance, it is not enough. For more of a family-owned wineries, yes, 1 month is okay. For restaurant reservations, 1 month is okay. But definitely, one thing that you should never do is to come to Tuscany in September or October and then, only then, start making your reservations. You are going to be disappointed. I just cannot repeat this enough. And finally, bring the right mindset. Fall in Tuscany isn't about racing through the checklist. It is slower, deeper, and more intimate. It is about long conversations over a bottle of red, long countryside walks in the golden light, and embracing the slower rhythm. If you come with that approach, you will live with the most beautiful, timeless memories. So, if there is one thing to take away, it's this: fall in Tuscany isn't about doing more, it's about experiencing better. The right place to stay, the guides who unlock the culture, the experiences that make the season unforgettable. None of that happens by chance. As you've learned from today's episode, these are the details that have to be secured well in advance. And that is exactly what my team at Fabulous Vita takes care of. And while this episode was focused on Tuscany, we designed fully bespoke journeys all across Italy, from world class cities to quiet countryside escapes and coastal retreats. Wherever you want to travel in Italy, we shape the trip around the season so you experience each destination at its very best. And of course, if you plan on adding Tuscany to your itinerary for Italy, I would absolutely love to know what months you plan on being here. And for those of you who already traveled to Tuscany, please share with me and the fabulous community what is your favorite time of the year to be here. And of course, some of your favorite experiences and places to explore, discover, and enjoy. I would absolutely love to know. And if you're just as passionate as I am about exploring this incredible world, don't just listen, join me. Make sure to smack that subscribe button, whether you're listening on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify. Let's explore this beautiful world together, one unforgettable story at a time.